everybody. Welcome to episode 3. That's 2. That's 2. Let's do a 3. Episode 3 of the Superman and Lois Retrospective. Joined by these guys, Lance and Daren. You've seen me on their channels, and I have also been having them on mine these past 2 weeks as we've been sharing these uploads. Well, Daren hasn't, and Lance just used his super strength to swat away a fly. He showed that fly who's boss. Just like
I missed.
Just like other people in this episode were swatted away as if they were flies, but we'll get to that later. Joined by these guys. Title of this episode is really weird. The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. Of course, a play on the Logan Lerman film of the same name, or of almost the same name. Of course, we got Lance and Daren here. Me and Lance started this, and then Daren forced his way into it.
Forced my way in. Yep. And then caused them to be 30 minutes late to this recording because my mic wouldn't work.
Yes, you needed some bat tech support. That's how bad this got.
It's just a bad cable. He just has a bad cable. He didn't want to listen to us though, but
yeah. That's the picture that we're painting for you guys. Daren just had bad. He had bad equipment. Speaking of painting, that's literally how this episode starts.
Sure did.
And I gotta say, that's one thing, and I think, Daren, you've talked about this before, whenever you and I have talked about the show, how, especially in this first season, you see him going around and saving people just all over the world. And I love how they just present him, as the world's hero, the world's savior, the world's friend, where as he's stopping the bridge from collapsing, he waves at the one guy in the most friendly sort of way, and he realizes he still has paint on his hand, which I thought was priceless.
Wait, that's what happened?
Yeah,
I've always wondered why he reacted like that to the
I've always read that scene differently.
Yeah,
I always thought he did it because he realized he let go of the building. He's like, oh
that's
shit.
That's what I thought.
No, he looks over. He's like, oh, there's still paint on my hand.
Okay, that's funny.
It made a lot of sense too, and how this is just becoming like a regular part of the kids' lives. Lance is going to be at war with that fly this whole video.
It is humongous.
Oh man!
I'm sorry, keep going, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Bitsy, if you're watching, you are amazing as always.
Yes, and Tyler, we need to give this man his flowers too.
Go,
Daren,
congratulations on the new role.
You have thoughts on the opening, Daren?
I adore this opening. Like I think outside of the pilot or like the first episode, this is one of my favorites. Not only openings to like this show, but like one of my favorite TV openings of all time. Like I adore that opening with the paint fight with the family. Stuff like that you don't get to see a lot in TV, where characters are just spending time with each other, bonding. Yeah. That's what makes these CW shows so much better. Not better always, but like sets them apart from other superhero media. You get to spend time with your characters and their families. Yeah. And then that moment, and like you said, that like he goes to all these various places because they just need help. They need that assistance. And it sucks that budget in later seasons didn't allow for that, because I do think that is what sets that apart. And we'll see that more in season 2 in terms of like what the Superman stands for, where it's like, I'm not just America's Superman nor Smallville Superman. And I will say by season like 4, it feels like he's just Smallville Superman instead of like the world, but...
a little bit. But no, onto your point about spending time with the family, from a cinematography standpoint, I love, just for lack of a better term, that golden hour approach that they use for showing those extreme long shots. I'm going to use a lot of film lingo here, film school graduate, sue me, but they use a lot of those extreme long shots of the Kent house, of the mailbox often, and you get that beautiful music by Dan Romer accompanying those voiceovers in the season, and just sets the tone for every episode so well. Lance, you got thoughts?
Just to I'm gonna be using big words, regular black guy here. Just to harken back to what Daren was saying about him being like the world Superman. That is the one thing that appealed to me the most about this show, what set it apart from Flash and Black Lightning and Supergirl and Arrow. This show, in its early stages, in like in the very beginning where we're at, it never shied away from the fact that Superman doesn't just protect one city. He's not just for Smallville. He's not just for Metropolis. He's for the world. And yes, Supergirl did try to establish some of that in her show as well, like showing her, going to other countries or whatever. Stupid fly. Showing her going to other countries. We had the whole, Red Daughter thing where they were supposed to be in Russia and all of that stuff. They showed all of that. But no, we see him. Yeah, we see him literally going to other countries, other places, and like just like that because super speed. And the set designs, even if majority of this stuff was primarily like sound stages or just like a little area set up to make it look like that, it felt
real.
And like
real.
it felt real. And even in this rewatch, like I was just sitting there like, dog, like what we lost. Like like I remember being like watching these first few episodes and each week being blown away just from the size and scale of this TV show. And honestly, I know a lot of people still like to stop flying past me. All right, stop it. I know a lot. Jesus, I know a lot of people still like to think that. Oh yeah, this had a no. They did this on a regular.
They're just smart with their budget. Yeah,
they got lower and lower by the year.
They got lower and lower by the year. They just knew what to do with it.
Yeah. And they put the money on the screen.
There were those like fight scenes this episode, which I might argue might be one of the better fight scenes in the show this week, where there's that scene. There's like multiple shots of that look incredible. But that first scene when he's busting through a house, the, like wood, like particles are going everywhere. He's going in slow motion. I was like, that looks cinematic.
Yeah,
that looks professional.
The back and forth, where like when he got the dude and he was basically playing ping pong with him.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
My favorite part of that whole sequence, and I didn't expect to love this moment as much as I did when I first saw it, and then every time I rewatch this, I know it's coming and I'm mentally prepping. When he thinks that he's down, that he's got him down, and you can see him slowly rise with that music crescendoing. Oh my God! It's like there were so many moments over the course of not just this episode but the whole show where I'm legitimately cheering like I'm in the theater watching.
I missed
like a big event superhero movie.
Yes, like that whole fight scene. That whole fight scene was so dope.
Yeah, it's so good.
You're thinking like it's like the fact that Clark is okay. Yeah, this dude is clearly enhanced, but Clark is thinking like I can just handle this like I would handle any other threat. No, Clark is starting to put the pieces together. Like okay, this dude might be, more. And in watching this, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, how can this dude be on par with Superman? But at the time, we're not putting the blocks together like this dude is a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Like we're not putting the pieces together. But also shout out to what is the actor's name?
Who?
For who?
He played Colossus.
Oh, what, the original Colossus or the Deadpool?
Yeah, the original Colossus.
Was he in here?
Yes, that was him.
Yeah. He was the guy.
Shout out to him.
Wow.
Shout out to him for being like the big bad in every single CW show. Like,
I remember seeing that, and I still can't remember his name. I feel bad.
Like he was Gridlock on the Flash. Gave the Flash a run for his money. Like
for the guys watching this on my channel, I'll show it on the screen right here.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting. Like now that we know more of the lore of this version of Superman, it is interesting to see his like threat levels retrospectively, because at the time we're like, well, this guy's fought Zod and blank and blank and
He's
blank.
Unstoppable, yeah.
But like retrospectively, now that they've retconned things, it's like, well, there's probably not that many hugely massive threats if there aren't that many superheroes on our world, right? When it's just being Superman, that means there probably weren't too many of these big cosmic events that created all these metahumans and all these various stuff, or we would have more Green Lanterns and Flashes and all these
until you get to season 3.
So like I feel like I'd be interested, and I know we have the comic and stuff, or I guess not anymore because that's uncanon, right? But like I'd be curious to see more of the history.
Lobo.
And like he did fight Lobo, but I'd be curious to see up until season 1 what his level of like I guess power scaling would be to other villains.
And what he faced.
Yeah, like was it mostly just like bank robberies and your like average Joe getting slightly stronger like it was this episode where it felt more just enhanced, or is it like, oh no, you face big
I mean,
threats?
I think what they've done, what they wanted to kind of avoid is going the whole New 52 route with the character where he slowly develops his powers over time, and that happened with the kids because they were
half.
They were half, whereas he was full Kryptonian, got all his abilities at once. But then, of course, you see with one of the other kids how it's not a slow development. We're covering for the man over here. But no, I mean, a lot of the Superman stuff here looked great, but the real people stuff in this episode, I had forgotten. I remember when I first watched this, because I had read some of like the character synopsis, and I'm going to say this in a way that's YouTube safe, but I had forgotten that Sarah had tried to exit the world of her own accord, shall we say? And then that gets brought up. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going deep here.
I remember the first time I was watching this, and at first I rolled my eyes a little bit with some of the stuff because I was like, oh no, they're heading down this route. And then by the end, and I do this with a lot of these episodes in these early seasons, where I'm
turn off your phone.
I do this a lot in those early episodes where I'm like, oh, they're just doing teen drama stuff, but they always wrap it up so beautifully and like
with a nice little bow on it.
The stuff with Lana and Sarah almost made me cry rewatching.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is deep and this is real and this is emotional and this is what Superman's about. I have so many people that have told me, like, yeah, the show would be good if it wasn't for the Cushings, and I disagree.
No, I disagree. I mean, that stuff is... Could you argue that some of the teen drama is a little, cringe-inducing? Sure. But that's also relatable to a teenager.
Yeah. No, I think, like... I think 9 times out of 10 it works. Does it always work? No. There are some things, and I bet we'll get there, especially season 2, I think, is when that line gets a little blurry at times. But
a little bit.
This season especially, I like it, and I don't mean to jump the shark, but like the stuff they do with Jonathan and Jordan this week, man, holy shit. I love the complicated relationships, especially that Jonathan has. I think this is my personal favorite season for Jonathan and like what he does, because it's like he's angry and he's jealous and he hates what his brother's doing, but just like a brother, he's like, God,
but he's also
God
scared. He's trying to look out for him.
Yeah,
he's like, this is what he needs, and I have to put his needs above his own, and that I think is what makes him such a good character. That he is he's arguably willing to be a hero without having powers, and I think that stuff is just beautiful stuff.
I think that's why people were clamoring for him to get powers for so long, just because of his kind nature.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was even talking about this to Lance before we started, but I find it pretty funny how many actors, in particular from Arrow, are borrowed for this show because, whoops,
that dog kills me every time.
Okay, moving past that, how many actors in particular from Arrow are borrowed from this? Because the football coach here played one of the sergeants in Arrow.
There's a lot of crossover.
And just that particular moment, whenever you see, Jordan he's at football, he's showing off, and you just see from the distance Clark with this expression on his face. You can't even really fully see his face, but you're like, oh, he's pissed.
Yeah. I love that dilemma that Clark is in. I think it's so fascinating, this aspect of like, okay, if you have powers, is it ethically okay to participate in sports? There's that line where it's like, okay, why does it matter if you're special if you can't use it? And it's like,
that was deep. That was deep.
It reminds you of some incredible stuff.
Reminds you of Incredibles. It reminds you of Spectacular Spider-Man. It reminds you. I know not everyone here likes it, but this is a big thing in Smallville that they tackle. They even tackle this in Homecoming, and I think like that scene from Homecoming where it's like, I could do these amazing things, but I probably shouldn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that aspect is so fascinating to me, and I like it. It does work as like a very spiritual successor to Smallville, where you see Clark want to play football, want to do this, but he can't, and his father and throws that into it, and that's in here where it's like, I wasn't allowed to, but let me try something different with you. Maybe maybe it is work for you. And again, he's not full Kryptonian. He is half
Right.
Kryptonian, so maybe it would work better for you. And I think that stuff is very fascinating.
Well, he also, he wants to teach him. He wants to teach a different lesson of, instead of Jonathan Kent going to him and saying, don't do this. It's not right. You shouldn't. You'll draw attention, and it's not ethically right. Clark instead says to Jordan, if you want to do this, make sure it's for the right reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have that whole conversation, which I'm sure every dad has with their kid at some point. Are you doing this for you, or is it to impress somebody?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. And that again, the realistic drama is just one of the many things that makes me love this show as much as I do.
Yeah, and I love the writing on that, where it's not like, no, Dad, I truly mean it. So it's like, well, at first, yeah, kind of. Like, I wanted to prove him wrong, but then it's like, but something happened. Like, once I actually gave it a shot, it's something that I haven't felt this way in a very long time, and it makes me happy. And I'm finding my place. And it's like, man, that's good writing.
You're finding like you belong.
Yeah, no, that stuff is it's so good, and we'll get to what happens with that, but I like that it's not kind of one straight path. It's like, okay, he did this and it worked out, it was great. It's like, okay, he did this, or trial and error. He eventually, it doesn't work out, and we tell that story with it, and it's there's so many layers to a storyline like that, and I think it adds a lot of character to that, to this in particular first season of the series, and how we see it evolve later on.
Yeah, the kids go through a really up and down in this episode, because they start the episode, both being very, very nosy kids, asking Clark a bunch of very personal Superman questions.
Honestly, I loved that part.
When you're older,
I love the family scenes in general, and asking like, what's the craziest things you heard? Because honestly, that's something that I would ask my dad if my dad was a superhero.
And you see Lois immediately flip. Nope.
No.
Oh man, they just feel like a real family.
Oh my god, yeah.
And that's, with me saying that, they literally, you hear that in the previously on in every episode of this first season of Lois saying, let's focus on what we came here for, family.
Yeah.
You hear that at the start of every episode this season.
Yeah.
Can we briefly touch on the fact that Kyle once again shilling for Morgan Edge when they blow up Lois's station wagon. Again, Chrissy wasn't originally on until the station wagon got blown up. So sorry, Lois, that you lost your car. But
it's a beautiful car too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fact, like, then Clark said, well, that isn't your first Molotov cocktail. I said, you know what? That's insane. That's
and you can just talk about it so casually.
I love that scene between Lois and Clark where it's like, is this one going to come back? It's 50-50. I was like, that's so good.
Oh man!
I love the part where where the kids are at the school and Clark is listening. Watching that, like, the first time, I'm like, Clark, stop, eavesdrop. I'm like, let them handle it. He can handle it. Honestly, if Jordan would have punched dude, I doubt it would have did that much damage because he's not that strong yet. So I'm like, but when he just shows up, hey guys,
yeah,
man, it really did not change in here. I said, dog.
It's like, you're good at lying to everybody else, but now that they know, they can see through a lie easily.
Right. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love Jonathan's response where Clark goes, it's not like I'm listening all the time. That's the wrong answer.
That's the wrong answer. Yeah.
I loved that response.
Well, like, I also love that scene so much because we don't know what Jordan does in that situation, right? And I can look at a scene like that and be like, he may have went off on him. He may have killed that man there, or he would have settled down. I like to
eventually see what he would do when he's allowed to.
That is true. Yeah. Like, I like to think that he wasn't really going to do it there, but again, Jordan is unpredictable and moody, and he can't control his emotions. Which I
gotta take back what I said. He did end up breaking Jonathan's arm.
That's what I said. Like,
yeah.
I just thought about
see what he would do if he were not stopped.
Yeah.
If you were in Clark's position, would you listen to what your kids are doing at school, or would you stay out of it? Because I honestly,
I'd listen. Honestly.
Yeah.
And it's even worse for me because, like, I have 4, so I'd definitely be listening.
Yeah.
Like it's no way around that. I'd be listening in all the time. Like
I think like morally, like it is the wrong, like objectively the wrong choice. But I think in his predicament, if I am sending my kids to school who know my secret, who potentially have superpowers, who could kill everyone there if things go wrong, I would also be
mass
listening.
murder, like Brightburn
this
on
is
12.
But also, I also understand, like, as someone who had slightly nosy parents, like, I also understand the frustration of, like, you can't do that. That is not okay. I need that privacy. Like, I also understand that frustration. If that was my parents, I'd be like, no, fuck off. That's like, don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I also understand that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we were saying, like it's realistic drama, and what makes good drama is to the point where you get it from both sides and you're not firmly landing on one side or the other, because you're still kind of having debates. You're like, okay, who's right here, who's wrong here? It's not like a lot of, the way that they wrote drama on a number of these other shows where you're very quick to figure out, okay, this person is 100% wrong, and there's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whereas this drama in this show, at least in this first season, again, we'll talk about later, but with the good written drama, it still leaves you thinking.
100%. And like that even goes to the like Lana and Sarah stuff this week as well, which by the way, completely forgot she used to coach cheerleader. Like I was like, wait, she worked for the school? That's crazy.
I completely forgot that they were on bad, like the entire family was on bad terms. I completely forgot that they said Sophie used to bully other kids.
Yeah. That stuff is interesting, and I think Lana is especially, like, again, I've always loved Lana's character.
Yeah,
I think she's
this show made her into a great character.
And I love what they do with her. Like, she is this kind of founding member of the community. She's not even mayor yet, but you're kind of like seeding those plants of like, well, the town respects her, the town loves her, she works for the school, she works for the bank, she does all these things, people look up to her, and there's that reputation there that she's trying to keep. And there's that fantastic scene between Lana and Kyle where like they're like out in the car, and they're like, well, like, what if someone sees us? Like, why should that matter? Your daughter comes first. And it's like, oh man, that is like, I think Lana's technically in the wrong there, but also I understand where that's coming from. And like that stuff is also like, oh my gosh, that's really deep emotional stuff.
Yeah. And they keep those conversations condensed because, like, as soon as Sarah enters the car, they cut right away from that.
Yeah.
And they put back on the face of, oh, hi, how are you doing? How was therapy? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the realistic approach. Because, whenever parents are typically talking about something deep like that concerns their kid, especially when they haven't made up their minds yet, they're not going to talk about it right in front of them.
Right in front of them. And you can definitely see the seeds of divorce kind of sprinkled in there for those two. Like, I remember when they first split up, I was like, well, that's dumb, that's stupid. I was like, oh my gosh, why are they gonna do this for them to get back together? But I think it's so clear from the jump they weren't necessarily meant to be, at least not long term.
They're not in game. They're not at all.
The most, and like in their youth, like I think stories like that I think are actually very beautiful. So I think it's important for people to see sometimes relationships or dynamics are important for one era of your life, and that can change and that can shift and that can evolve. And they were perfect when they were younger, but as they got older, they were no longer compatible. And like learning that it's okay to go your separate ways and find people that are better suited for your personality is a very healthy thing to show on screen. So it's cool to see that. I don't know if that was a planned season one. I don't know if that's what they were always trying to do, but like it
made sense because Clark and Lana had the exact same thing, and you see that other characters in the show have their own versions of that where they are with people for a time and then they grow and then they find either who they're with at the end of the show when we last see them, or who they're with for the rest of that character's life. And it's there's simple beats to this storytelling, but because it's so relatable with all the superheroics and candy coating on top of it, I think that's why it draws in its audience. I think we Did we hit everything? I don't think we missed anything.
I think we hit everything. I think we tapped it all.
I
think-
you know, like they had the Chrissy stuff as well, which is kind of sprinkled in here. Like this is your first time actually getting her as a character, and like her dynamic, Lois's dynamic is crazy, and they're definitely setting up the stuff that we're going to be building on, like with the ending and what we're doing with Morgan Edge. Which I don't know if we know it's Morgan Edge yet. Like I don't think we're supposed to know it's him directly connected to. Oh no, actually we should know because she's in the office in the first episode, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I guess we would know.
Okay. Yeah, because she's the one that tells Lois, he's going to ruin you.
That's right. Okay. So yeah, that's interesting setup. So
yeah,
Lois and Clark. Lois, he's gonna ruin you, Lois. Sorry, that's just random thoughts that just came out.
Australia?
I was about to say, and as Lance gives his best and worst attempt at a Peter Griffin impression, we're gonna probably wrap this up here. I mean, we all had great things to say about the episode, and the little critiques we gave here and there. But it's also a lot easier to look at this back in hindsight whenever we see how it all ends.
We've seen everything.
Because before this, it was just rapid speculation. Before,
but I'm just glad I can finally properly review this show that I've been in love with. Like, I didn't get to do this until season 3. I'm glad I can recap season 1 and season 2 and season 3 and season 4 under a more mature reviewers critic lens, and just talk about a show that I love, with my friends. You cannot get in.
Mature? I'm not so sure.
Friends? I don't know. Kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't all. I mean, we all got together and started talking, and about all this. During during season 3?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
no. We did Party Nation season 3, and then you weren't. I don't know if you were fully integrated yet, but definitely season 4 for you.
Oh yeah, definitely that one, because there was such a long break in between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But I think that pretty much covers it. Of course, you guys that are watching this on my channel, I'll leave their stuff linked in the description. Well, actually, they'll be tagged in the video, so just tap their names right there, the names that glow blue. Lance, any plugs for yours?
Same. It'll be plugging those guys blue and
not blue and white, not that site.
Not that site. Not that. Wait, what? Anyhow, I'll be tagging those on my side. We're gonna be as this thing goes along, we're gonna be switching who takes the lead on each episode. This week it was JoypadJake, and next week, who knows? We might all like fuse into one person and do the.
We all talk at once. There's no lead whatsoever.
Legit Aaron. That'll be our name. That's our fusion name. Legit Aaron.
Are we a basketball player?
The name is very
crazy.
Or we might have one person pop in, do a 5-second introduction, and then leave, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That works as well.
James Gunn.
Jesus.
Oh. Hey,
I'm James Gunn.
I'm James Gunn, and I approve this video.
Yeah. Let's not get sued.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't want that. All right. So, yeah. Watch, like, subscribe,
enjoy,
share, all that stuff.
You know how our streams be.
Wear hats.
Yeah.
Yes, wear hats.
We're filming this on a Wednesday, so watch Council of Creators tonight.
Even though when you see us, it'll be 4 days.
It'll be like 4 days late. Yeah.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch it live. Okay. Bye. Peace. Hey, may the power protect. Wait, that's Power Rangers. Wrong stream.
Up and away. To the
Look up.
Look up.
Wrong Superman.